Good morning, Story Trading VIPs. Man, we have just been killing it with our picks this morning. Though, before we get to the picks, we got to be careful about Powell speaking. I think right now, and then we have CPI Thursday, so we got to be careful about that. I'm looking at my corner of my eye here to see. Hold on, let's see what they're talking about. 1 second. Let's just watch this for a second. There you have it. There's the PAL comments coming right in at 9 a.m. this morning. So we'll have to see how the market reacts to that. You can see it down 0.5%, SPY down 0.3%. And we do have, again, CPI Thursday, which is going to be the big event. QQQ dropped below the 20 DMA after initially breaking up above it. I heard the SPY went up of the 50 and dropped below. So people aren't happy with that reversal yesterday. And I can understand kind of risk off going into CPI. So you got to manage that however is best for you. Now, some news. TSM reported, and it was a miss. I guess it was a slight miss, but they also had very strong expectations long term. So that's holding the stock up. But there was some softness in the quarter, which is attributed to Apple in various articles. So that could be a drag on Apple, as we're seeing this morning down just a little bit. Now, I do want to point out, though, Microsoft. You see the relative strength in Microsoft. QQQ is down 0.4%. Microsoft is up 0.7%. I think this one could really have a great day because they are now rumored to be buying, or at least buying, a 49% stake in ChatGPT. Okay. And the buzz around this is insane. Everybody's talking about it. Everyone, I mean, people in Wall Street, people outside of Wall Street, regular people. I mean, this is the biggest thing. And the fact that Microsoft is getting into this, I bet you Google's down. Watch this. Ready? Let's look it up. So Microsoft up 1.1%. People are saying this is a threat to Google search. So let's take a look at Google. Google down 2%. There you go. All right. So we got the thesis. I said this last night. I didn't even look at Google this morning yet. So you can see Microsoft up 1% now. Google down 2%. Microsoft up 1.22%. I think Microsoft really has legs, and you see QQQ and SPYs come back. That's why Microsoft is even adding to its gains. I think Microsoft might be a big winner today, and I'd be interested in seeing what Vegas says about it. You know, she's mostly an options traders in big cap companies, so this is right up her alley. So keep an eye on Microsoft, and let's see if we can 235 obvious target. Well, 233, 234. You can see right here. 1, 2. These three candles here used to be support. Now resistance up there at 232, 233. So maybe it has a few more bucks in it. But the market obviously has to cooperate as well. All right, now down to our individual stocks. Not a ton of news this morning. We have the full fruition of our LIAC F idea from $2.20. I don't have the full chart for you anymore because of the data and everything has changed. It's now trading on the NASDAQ. There's pre-market trading, 46,270 was their initial target. But more importantly, the play was to sell right before the close yesterday, which was right on target. Closed at the high of the day, 290, went from 220 to 290 in 3 days. Now on day 4 over here, I held half to sell into today. I believe today will be the peak. I could be wrong, but we've had a great run. So I'm planning to sell the other 50% today at some point. I already sold some here in pre-market. So AMLI, it could be very volatile today, could be very high volume today. So, do what you need to do with that. If you've been in the trade, congratulations. Definitely, I'm looking to exit that very shortly. CTMX, we've been in this for a few days, and I failed to notice that tomorrow at 3 p.m. they're speaking at the JP Morgan Health Conference. So now that's another catalyst, a big catalyst that can maybe get this going back over 3. So we'll just have to wait and see on that. Clearfield today speaking at 11 a.m. at Needham. Yesterday, I noted I thought it was going to break out yesterday afternoon. It didn't, but the chart still looks great. Over the 20 DMA, MACD flip, RSI low. I made this a trade of the week pick over at Wolf Financial Spaces last night, along with CTMX actually. So I'm looking for a target of 105 on Clearfield, a continuation here. And depending on what they say at Needham, and starting to get event anticipation to earnings later this month, maybe you can break that 105 and go to the next target, which would be, the 20-week moving average is 105. Where we go after that? No, I don't know. Maybe we're off to the races after that. So I'll have to see. But 105 is your next resistance. QUIK, QUIK, little micro cap semiconductor stock that I'm interested in. That they're speaking at Needham today at 3:45 p.m. Did I get that right? Let's see. January 10th. Yep, 3:45 p.m. today. They're speaking, so maybe that can get some interest in the coming days after they present at Needham. DermTech, I want to bring that to your attention. This is one I was researching last year. But I sold all of it when November of last year hit. Let's see where it was back then. That was November of 2021. Yeah, I sold my last shares early November of 2021, and then it went to the gutter, this growth stock company. So DermTech, this was compared to Exact Sciences. Speaking of, right, we talked about Exact Sciences yesterday in terms of the potential of this company, in terms of the market cap potential, the TAM they're addressing. Exact Sciences, they do colorectal cancer screening, and DermTech does skin cancer screening, and it's all about being able to do it in a cheaper, easier way. I think DermTech can even be done at home, or that's probably at the doctor's office too. But anyway, it doesn't require like a procedure. It's a non-invasive. These are both non-invasive ways to check for cancer. And now we have some news here. Two in a row. We had 1.5, January 5th, there was some news. I didn't mention it because it was just one data point. Now we have two of them. So you have coverage from two different insurance companies in 5 days. So once you start stacking the catalyst here, it creates momentum, and people think maybe there's something real behind this. And that's part of why you're seeing the stock up 4.5%. Now, if you look at the long-term chart, actually, it's been clobbered so much. I got to remove the 200-day moving average here to get a better view. So we'll move the 200 and shoot. Let's get out of there, get back in. And even then, with moving the 200, we got to kind of zoom in to be able to see this. Come on. Here we go. This is tough. All right, right at the 50-day moving average right now in pre-market. So right at the 50-day, and this potentially, if they turn around their business, has huge upside. But we got to really research the fundamentals here to know what their cash runway is. Obviously, a company like this, they were burning cash. Cash, I'm sure, was a concern without even researching it. I can tell you that's why the stock crashed. Okay, growth company, not profitable yet. So cash, obviously, a concern. So DermTech, though, 2 catalysts in 5 days could be very interesting here to look into. I kind of almost forget that I'm not in it already, but because I really fell in love with this technology when I researched it like a year and a half ago. But we'll have to see. This one, along with DermTech and Transmedics, were the 2 medtech companies that I was really interested in that I held before the growth stock crash. And Transmedics is about organ transplants, doing that in a better way. And I sold both of them when November of last year hit, when I noted that inflation is coming and growth stocks are not good. I sold both of them. Unfortunately, for me, I never got back into Transmedics. Their business kept growing at the organ transplants and headed to all-time highs. DermTech, however, kept on going lower. So maybe I have a chance on this one because those are 2 medtech companies I really liked. and I missed out on Transmedics. Let's see if there's an opportunity for DermTech, but we really got to research the fundamentals on that. ESLT, a little bit of news. Aerospace company out of Israel. They get like constant contracts, and I don't know. Someone's got to look at the fundamentals. Revenue wise, it looks really cheap. Well, PE 27. Okay, this is an aerospace company getting nonstop contracts. If you look at the charts, it's underperforming. Lockheed Martin underperforming. Raytheon. So this is one I actually have in my IRA. Exact Sciences, can we see continuation? I think if the market cooperates, I think we're seeing the low 60s. And honestly, we got to put our 200 DMA back here. I think there's a chance for higher on Exact Sciences. Healthcare, biotech, a good place to be in a recession. And, if they're printing earnings, the sentiment's going to be good for this sector. And you can see where it came from, 154. So I think this potentially has legs, let's say first to the low 60s. And then we'll have to play it by ear and monitor it every day to see if it can make a move eventually to that 200-day moving average. I think that's potentially in the cards. Air pulling back a little bit. So that's actually all the news I got this morning. There's not a lot of news out today. GRIL, I'm just noting that again, putting the shout out. Hey, someone take a look at the fundamentals. And news flow is insane here. Almost looks too good to be true, but the chart is reacting. So maybe there is something there. All right, 1 second while I do some back end stuff here in the studio to prepare for our next segment. Okay. All right. I am all ready. Vegas should be popping in here in about 3 minutes. So I see a bunch of you on. We got 3 minutes. Usually have so much information this morning, not much news flow. So if you have a comment, you can throw it up into the comments over there. This is, as you know, it's an unlisted YouTube link. And I can see it right here. And then I can look up a chart or something in 3 minutes we have before Vegas comes. So while we wait for her, I'll just do what I normally do. I'll show you my routine here in the 3 minutes going through the watch list. Really, it's mostly driven by the news, though, not the price action. It's the news that drives price action. So that's what I'd like to do first. I go into the news feed here. I got now every minute really on this. Most of it does not rise to the top. In the VIP chat room, I only give you the stuff that I think could be relevant in the morning. So to become quite good at scanning this very quickly and deciding what is newsworthy, what is not. Nothing new has come in the last 20 minutes since I saw this to indicate something that's newsworthy. We can continue looking at the price action since Powell spoke, QQQ and SPY, nothing dramatic. So I think what this means is the next event is really CPI. So today's speech by Powell, I think, really a non-factor. Probably my guess is we'll kind of be range-bound and choppy. Maybe you'll see a sell-off before CPI either end of day today or throughout tomorrow as people raise hedge or cash into that event, into that binary event. And you can see some of these indicators not so great on the weekly. You see a 2200 bearish cross on the QQQ. So I got to be honest with you. We're still we moved from red alert to orange alert in the fund, and that's still kind of bearish. And also, when we did that with intention that it could be temporary, depending on what CPI shows. So orange alert since Friday to take advantage of this little rally we had. It only ended up being 2 days. We'll see what happens today. But longer term, I'm still overall bearish on the major indices and major companies like Apple, Google, Microsoft, except Microsoft exception because the catalyst today. But I still think we're in a good stock picking environment regardless, if you can find the stocks that have the catalyst, that have the fundamentals. So all engines go, for a morning stock picking show. Let's take a look at Tesla and BABA while we wait. So Tesla outperforming the markets here. Markets still down, Tesla up. We talked about the possibility that this hit a low when it had the red to green reversal on bad news on Friday. So hopefully that'll continue to be the case. LLAP, let's just look at that briefly. I did like this yesterday morning. I didn't have the ability to get into it at like 140, 141. Made a move to 151. This is the Lockheed Martin stock aerospace company that has to deal with Lockheed Martin. Down here at the lows, if markets bounce, I think this one can definitely make a move to 170, which I think is the swing target I put out there. Yep, that's your resistance. So 170 if the markets get hot. But I'd lay off this morning at 151 until we see a clear direction for the markets. In fact, maybe I'd lay off being too aggressive at this point until after CPI. All right. I think it's a good idea to sit back and watch a little bit unless there's things you have super high confidence in today and tomorrow before the CPI numbers come out. All right, let's just scroll through, look at the price action. What we can do is order by price. And we got, BBBY, which I think they're going bankrupt, man. We had the report this morning and not a great report. To me, it looks like they're really running out of cash very fast. Really not much going on. A very quiet day, both in terms of price action and in news. So, and with that, we're going to go to our next segment right now. Good morning, Vegas. How you doing?
Good morning. Great. How are you doing?
Great. I love stocks.
I definitely love stocks, love options. I love everything about the market.
And that is, let's see, I love stocks. That's right here. A little slow morning for news flow for us, but I did want to ask you, because I know you like big caps. Have you looked at Microsoft and the catalyst that potentially can make this move today?
Yeah, I saw Microsoft pop in this morning. So, what was the catalyst this morning on
They
Microsoft? Because I didn't.
are in negotiations to buy 49% of ChatGPT. You know that AI that
Oh,
everyone's raving about?
yeah, yeah. I saw that Microsoft was popping this morning.
And
Um,
Google, in reaction, is down as well. Google down 2% because they're saying this can really challenge Google search at some point with this technology from ChatGPT.
well, Microsoft's had a tough time the last couple weeks. So I'd like to see Microsoft. It looks like it's setting up. But I'd like to see it over, for me, I'd like to see it over 236.04 to consider
Two,
trading it. 236.04.
236.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
that's because I'm looking for a swing trade.
Okay.
If it breaks 236.04, it'd be the 8 EMA. I mean, if it gets over today 231.03, I think you'll see traders come in. That's the daily level of the 8 EMA. So you might see traders come into the trade at 231.03. So
Okay.
depending if you're looking at day trade or swing trade. So, I'm not really looking at day trade this,
Oh,
just
interesting.
because
Okay.
it's too much babysitting. I'd rather, like, Microsoft's not the easiest to trade. It's got a little nice pop. So we need to see follow through, right? Because right now we saw pre-market action. So I want to see some follow through. Maybe the market will still like this news. But if it can break this 231.03 for day traders, I think that looks good. And we'll consider, day trading it. But I'm personally
Okay.
not going to day trade it.
I got it. I got it. Well, I'll make a prediction. I could be wrong, but I think the sentiment around this Chat GPT technology is so high that I think I'm going to make a prediction that it's going to overcome the technicals and break those levels as that you talked about today, as long as the market doesn't crash. So if the market is stable or up, I think Microsoft can break those levels you're talking about. You got anything else on your radar this morning? Kind of slow for us on our end.
No, you know what? I will say that I'm still watching the China market. Still looks good, so I'm still, trading these China stocks. Still long on these China stocks, and until I see them breaking down, still bullish on China. So just continuing to watch them and uh, and see what goes. I did take just to mention, I did take a swing trade yesterday on WWE. This is the World Wrestling Entertainment. And the reason I liked it also was because the stock has made a 52-week high. So I did
Oh,
take a
wow.
swing trade,
Look at
and
that.
if you look at the chart, it's really, really nice, and it's got a nice pocket pivot, some volume surging here. So I did take some contracts for February 17 because I need time on these setups because I'm not really sure with WWE the momentum how it's not like an Apple or Tesla where it really goes, but this has the potential to go. My stop loss on this is 78.43. So as long as it stays over that, which it's over that by like almost $10, I'm looking for this to make a move towards 100. So I really like where it's at, like this weekly chart. And so I have the contracts for February 17 on this one. I have the $90 calls, and also my members are in the $100 calls as well for February 17. Those were around a dollar
Wow.
and 40 cents. So, and I'm looking because we're looking for this to head towards $100. So,
Yep.
gorgeous chart. and looking for this to have a continuation. So it's just, being patient with it and seeing how it plays out.
And
Also looking, yeah.
no, just noting the catalyst for this is they're looking for strategic alternatives, and analysts are saying they could be bought out for $105 a share as part of this effort.
Yeah, there's a catalyst too. The other thing too is that they did report record WrestleMania gate. There was obviously the sale chatter rally from last week. But they did report record gate revenue for their WrestleMania almost 3 months prior to it actually taking place. So they're saying that WrestleMania is going Hollywood. It surpassed their previous records of ticket sales. So they're saying that they have an event coming up April 1st, but I'm not too sure who's playing, but they've definitely done quite well. And also I'm hearing there's some chatter about Vince McMahon, the former CEO, is hoping to return to the company's board. So
interesting. So a lot going on there.
Yeah.
I want to put DermTech on your radar. I didn't take a trade on this yet. DMTK. Are you familiar with this company from the heyday, the COVID heyday last year?
No, not this one.
This is the skin cancer screening company that back when it made its run from $9 to $70 to $80, it was being compared to Exact Sciences, EXAS, which we know
that one I
exploded.
know. Yeah.
Yeah. So DermTech, well, back then was compared repeatedly by many analysts to Exact Sciences, EXAS, because similar kind of TAM or similar kind of niche. So this one has had a couple catalysts over the past week. Again, I'm not in this yet, but 2 insurance companies are now covering their product just over 5 days, and it's coming up against the 50 DMA. I don't know if you have any initial thoughts you could share it, but I thought this is one to put on your radar you might be interested in.
Well, you know what? This one here, I mean, I like to do a lot of swing trades too, because like I said, I don't want to have to like micromanage the trades constantly. It's a lot of work to do all that. So with DMTK, when I look at the weekly chart, I mean, it's over 222 and it's over the 209 level, which is the 3 EMA. So the fact that it's over 220, it kind of looks to me like they have, it looks like the last 3 weeks, this looks like it could be under accumulation, the actual stock. So as long as it holds like 209, then I would be comfortable to take a swing trade. Mind you, I don't have a position. As long as it would not go below 209. So that would be like my stop loss under 209. If it can get over, it's over this 222. So next resistance that I see would be like 276, 296.
Wow.
And then, 313, 343. So it would get really nice eventually if it gets over 343. I think we'll see a lot of buyers potentially come in here. But as long as it holds 209, not a bad looking chart. It kind of looks like it's under accumulation. And the fact that you mentioned there's a few, did you say insurance companies? Yeah, that's really big. Like insurance companies, like really, really, really popular. So could be a rebound for this actual stock.
Anything else on your radar that you think could pop today?
You know what? My watch list, like I'm really still watching Tesla. I think Tesla looks really, really good. And, some traders could be long on Tesla. I do like it still. If it breaks over 118, Tesla has room, a pretty decent room, like maybe like a $8, $9 move on Tesla. So definitely want
the 20
to keep a watch.
That coincides with the 20 DMA, by the way.
The 118 level.
Yeah, well, it's 121 in pre-market now, but another $8 takes it right to the 20-day moving average.
There you go. So so Tesla's still one of my top watches. Really like Tesla, and very interesting. We saw a lot of option flow yesterday on April $200 calls. So we'll see how that goes over time. But there's a lot of.
By the way, another way to play Tesla to the long side with some leverage is TSLL. Are you familiar with that ETF?
Yeah, TSLL and TSLQ for during the short side. Yeah. That's a good one. Too. So that's a good way. That's a good way to trade it too. Even if you trade on if you buy the commons there, TSLL or TSLQ for going short.
Yep. Are you still watching AML? Oh well, LIAC changed to AMLI this morning. By the way,
which one?
AMLI? LIAC.
Oh yeah, yeah.
LIACF, you're still in it, right?
The new yeah, I still like it. Beautiful, nice action
Yeah.
yesterday.
Look
Really
at the
nice action
pre-market.
yesterday.
Look at the pre-market.
So looks really nice. Really, remember I told
Up
you that
another.
usually when there's uplisting, I told you the market usually likes
Yeah.
that. I mean, obviously the volume's a bit low, but like I said, sometimes traders just don't trade pre-market.
We had 1 million
So
shares yesterday.
yeah, excuse me. Yesterday was really good, but today would like to see more volume. But still, the fact that it's uplisted and the stock's still holding. I mean, my entry was around 227.
Oh,
It's still
beautiful.
holding very, very well. So yeah, yeah, very nice.
Awesome.
And I'm looking for that continuation. That could be beautiful, beautiful. Yeah,
Yep.
love it,
Any
love it.
thoughts on CTMX?
Oh, CTMX, that was a nice one that we traded. On CTMX, I gotta say, yesterday it kind of looked like a bit of a sell signal was triggering yesterday, but it's still, the chart still looks good on CTMX. I mean, right now you can see here it's at 275 on CTMX, and so it's holding really well. This weekly chart is still really good. So if this can get over 282 today, which it looks like it can, this can head back towards 325, 350, 386. So, that's where it needs to head. But I still like this weekly chart. So the swing to me is still very good. Very, like, it's, the chart's not broken. So when the chart's not broken, there's really just no reason to, get out of the trade. So as long as it, holds this 203 level, CTMX swing looks really good still for continuation. Just going to take, some time. That's why these swing trades take time. But the weekly is great. So really like it.
Yep. I'm looking at that weekly.
Are you still in CTMX?
I am actually, yeah, a good position. I've sold a little bit, but I have a good position in it.
Yeah, looks great. The chart's still very nice. Just takes, like I said, these swings take time. Especially these, stocks with under $5, they take time sometimes. Sometimes they move right away, but a lot of times it takes time. But that's okay. You like when the stock, takes it nice and easy, and looks really good. So I like it. So it looks really nice here. Very nice for continuation. Or if no one's in a swing trade and they're looking for a swing trade, they can consider CTMX. Currently, it's trading at around 278. So the weekly chart looks really good, and stop loss at 203, in my opinion.
Awesome. All right, I do need to cover the stock AIRG. If you need to run, you can do so.
All right. Well, thank you for having me on. Look forward to hearing your commentary, and you guys have a great trading day. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Thank you, Vegas. You can follow Vegas at I Love Stocks 1 on Twitter. Thank you so much. All right, so AIRG, some news just came out. We interviewed the CEO before on this. A leading provider of wireless connectivity solutions has announced a partnership with Deutsche Telekom IoT to connect its asset tracking devices with Europe's leading IoT. This looks like big news on AIRG. I'm putting this up right now. AIRG. Let's see where the last trade was yesterday. Okay, 100 shares this morning. So this is the 50 DMA at 715. What's the average volume on this thing? Pretty low. So it's going to be hard to get a position in this, but that's big news. I can see this making a move to $7.50 to $8 very quickly out of the gate this morning. And with that, we're out of here. Thank you for joining us. We'll continue the collaboration. 11 a.m. Clearfield, 3:45 p.m. Is QUIK.